And we are back for another episode of Behind the Uniform. This is where we learn more about who these athletes are off of the field or court of play. You see them do their thing. They make you excited and happy when they're doing their thing in front of the camera. But what about behind the camera? What makes them happy? That's what this platform is all about. It's also about uplifting these young student athletes, both men and women. We're going to have some female student athletes on in the coming weeks and months as well. But in the NIL era, they're making money. We want to help them keep some of that money, feel like we owe it to them, especially me. You know, knowing a lot of these young fellas, young men and women, going back to when they were young kids, feel like it's a responsibility to kind of help them out a little bit as well. And so that's what this platform is all about. We have great sponsors helping us with that. Golden Limo, our friends over there, Sean Duvall. His company has become synonymous with getting you to your destination on time, every time, whether that's Michigan football, riding on the Golden Limo buses, or you individually, executive transport, airport transport, game day transport. Golden Limo will get you there. And right now, some great opportunities. If you're watching Behind the Uniform, checking us out on this platform, you got to know there are some great opportunities that are available exclusively through us at goldenlimo.com. Check them out right now. If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Their fleet of charter buses, executive sprinters, mid-size vans, party buses, luxury SUVs, and even a trolley, their service and attention to every detail is second to none, and their track record for safety is beyond reproach. Whether you're traveling in Southeast Michigan, throughout the United States, or even abroad, Golden Limo has you covered. And now when you make a reservation with Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket, you'll be supporting Michigan NIL and a great military charity. Golden Limo founder and CEO Sean Duvall has been a great supporter of Michigan NIL, first through his NIL partnership with Will Johnson and his toy drive, and then through Will's Golden Limo NIL ambassadorship. And now in 2024, Sean and Golden Limo are back with an NIL partnership with Zeke Berry. Sean Duvall also comes from a military family and is a passionate supporter of military charities. One of those charities is Freedom River. Freedom River is a comprehensive outdoor recreation center located in Brighton, Michigan that assists in reassimilation of U.S. military service members, veterans, and their families. A portion of your reservation fee will go there, and that's not all. There's one more perk. Once a month, one Golden Ticket reservation will be selected to attend an exclusive party after the season. That party will include Zeke Berry, Samaj Morgan, maybe some other guests. I know it will include the film study crew, Al Borges, Vance Bedford, doing an exclusive film study breakdown in front of the audience that is at that party. It'll have the Dropping Dimes crew with Devin Gardner, Daniel Horton. Maybe it'll include you, but only if you book through Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket once per month. A Golden Ticket reservation will be selected to go to that party with 3 guests, but only if you book your reservation through Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/Golden Ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today. Now it's time to welcome back to the stage one of our guys. He is a return attendee, a return participant and guest here on Behind the Uniform, Rod Moore. Rod, how you doing, man?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing all right, man. I admit, man, little verklempt, a little, heart sunk. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I know how you must have felt, because it's your career. But I was like, oh, not my man. Oh, not my man, not my dog. And I think that was the reaction that everybody had when they heard that you got hurt, man. So let's just start off first with, how are you doing physically, and then how are you doing mentally?
I'm doing real good in both, honestly. Physically, I'm just doing rehab every day. It's coming it's a day-by-day thing. I have good and bad days where I'm like, why is it still hurting? And then there's days where it feels great. So you just gotta, train your mind to be able to deal with those things. And I mean, I have a great support system on the team and at home that's really helping me through this. So mentally and physically, I'm doing really good.
The sad truth is this is not something that you haven't dealt with.
Right.
Having to fight back from injury. I do wonder though, having to go through a more serious injury this time. Did you find it necessary to be picked up more? Did you have to lean on people more this time to help you kind of fight back through it mentally?
I kind of would say a little bit because, I've been injured a good amount of times in my life, and I've had multiple surgeries. My freshman year I was out with the shoulder, and then last year I had the knee surgery, but then I missed a couple games. And that time, that's where I needed a lot of people because I was kind of blaming other people for what happened and why it happened. But this time, I'm kind of just more so. I look at it as it's just a trial and tribulation I have to attack every day, and I'll come back better on the other side because everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer of that. So just trying to stay close to the Lord, get closer to the Lord.
So as far as prognosis is concerned, what was the optimistic timeline? Hey, this is the best it could possibly be as far as timeline going back. And then what did they say is doctors kind of give you a range. They say this is the quickest you could come back, and this is probably the more realistic timeline. So what did they kind of tell you as far as that was concerned?
It's more so of a set timeline. It's kind of just, I would say, between 7 to 10 months or anywhere in that ballpark. So it all depends on just how my rehab goes and when that day comes for me to be able to make the decision if I want to play or just keep doing rehab and getting stronger. That's when it'll be, but I don't know. Because there's a lot of things that kind of have to go right or could go wrong in that process to be able to give a set time.
Yeah, and so how do you determine where to do your rehab and who to do your rehab with? Do you do it at Michigan? Did you contemplate doing it elsewhere? How did you determine where to do your rehab and who to do it with?
So I didn't get surgery here. I went to LA and I had got surgery, and I was advised by a couple of people to go there just because I just thought of it as because this is a big injury, and for my future plans, I really would need the best hands to be working on my leg. And so I had the opportunity to be able to do that. So that's what I chose to do. But I did some rehab out there, then I came back, and now I'm doing rehab here. So I think I'll probably be doing rehab here up until, the season's over with, and then it depends where I go elsewhere from there.
So what does rehab look like for you, Rob? What's your routine?
Every day really is just, right now it was in the summer because that's really what I rehab. And I'll have a lift at 7:30 every day. And then after that I do my rehab. I'll either do some stuff in the training room or some stuff in the weight room with the trainers. It depends on what day it is. We flop days and stuff. So it's really that, and then, that's really it.
So, there's a piece of this that would make it very easy as you focus on rehab, you focus on your future. Yeah, you got the team, that's your guys, those are your brothers. But it'd be very easy to divorce yourself from what it has going on, it being the team. You haven't done that. It feels like talking to the guys. You made a conscious effort to be involved in making sure you have a role in what's going on the team, man. So take me through that, because I think that's just you, but you gotta. I think that's a choice. So take me through that choice.
It is me, but it was a point in time when I went out to LA. It was probably towards the end of spring ball and went into the spring game, so I wasn't there for none of that. And it was good to be away, especially at the time, my mind was everywhere. You know how that goes, the first month. But it was good getting away. But at the same time, I really missed the team. I missed everybody, just the feeling, because I do that every day. That's kind of my routine every day. So it's kind of different when I was out there. And so and then also the support they showed when I was gone. They still were calling my phone, checking up on me. And so when we came back, it was just talking to my parents and just everybody in my circle. It was you still gotta impact this team in a way that you can and you can only, because it's like you're not gonna be on the field, but you still can have a voice. Like, you're one of the leaders on the team. You can't just go in the shadows and hide behind the curtains. You just gotta still be there and push everybody, because I mean, at the end of the day, I still want the team to win. Like, I want us to be able to go back to back. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes to help everybody be good as I was, or even better. So
yeah, man. You know, part of what made you such a good player and what's gonna make you a really good player again is your preparation, man. I say the same thing about Will. It was the thing that made you as young players be on the field. Is you guys prepared like vets as rookies. Like, you were old souls as youngsters in your playbook, studying film. And I was talking to, the reason why I bring it up, I was talking to Zeke. He was sitting there a couple days ago. He's like, man, I wasn't like that. He was like, Rod, he just, you know, he was one of my mentors. He's one of the guys that's kind of putting Rod, McCarry, these are guys that I look up to kind of help me get to where I need to be. And so a story came up, and you kind of take me through it. This was probably, I guess it was before the injury. Spring, I guess it was maybe you and some other team leaders kind of looked around and kind of saw guys wasn't doing what needed to be done, or wasn't looking like it needed to look. Called a team meeting, called them together, saying, hey, y'all, this is not how it's supposed to go. So, I mean, spring is over. Tell us the story. Kind of take us through what happened, what you saw, or however it went, about holding the team accountable. And this is, again, kind of plays into the role that you still have on the team.
I think it was more so because you have a whole new, really everything in that building. And when it kind of shifted and stuff, it was kind of hard to see who, like, the leaders were, because all of our leaders left a lot on both sides of the ball, I would say. And so it was a point in time where we were kind of going, like, bumping heads with each other, just arguing about stuff when we were kind of saying stuff to them. So it was just, hold on, we gotta nip this in the bud, because when we were freshmen, my class wasn't the best class when we came in, and then the Wills in them class, they were actually good, but there was still, like, team meetings held to really set the standard. So and we came together as leaders and was like, I think we need to set the standard of this team.
When you say, pause, when you say your class wasn't very good, Will's class was really good, you mean in how they prepare, how they play? What do you mean by that?
Talking about just as, like, our class got into some stuff.
I got you.
When we was freshmen. And then, I mean, they were kind of more like, when they came in, his class came in on, like, I don't even know how to say it. They was just on it like they was coming to play and take your spot. That was his class. But back to what we was talking about.
Yeah, so you were talking about, you were just butting heads, the leaders had left.
And then, I mean, there was always a meeting that was a standard being set. So I think we just came together and was like, I think we need to, set the standard of this team, let them know how it's finna be. And it's not no gray areas of who's what and what's going on. So that's what the meeting was about. And it was cool from there. Like, we knew what to do.
Was that mostly setting the tone with young guys, or was that something that needed to be set with guys that had been here but just hadn't been in leadership roles before?
I think it was a little bit of both, honestly. It was everything. That's what took into it. Like, some of the young guys needed to be let know, like, we need y'all to step up and be a leader in your class, like, because you played, So, and then there's guys that we had to do that with in my class. It's like, bro, we're seniors now. Like, it's us, it's our team, so we got to be the ones to, set this tone, set the standard, and step up.
Yeah, that's real. That's you, right? Definitely expect that from you. And it kind of also rewinds the tape a bit to the decision to come back, because Colston told a story. He said it wasn't a foregone conclusion that we were all going to come back. It was like there were some very real offers on the table out here. Some very real opportunities that we all could have taken advantage of. Giovanni Ohadi was like, I wasn't starting, and that was kind of part of the offer. It was like, hey, you could come here and start and get all this bread and take care of your whole family. So he said, I had to pray to stay. you know, because I had some opportunities. So he said the vet, some of the older guys had to come together. He told the story of like a round table where y'all kind of came together.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I think I was like, bro, yo, hold on. We need to meet. Because that's when Coach Herb was gone. That's what, like, as soon as Coach Herb left, like, after that lift, the whole building was just like, oh, shit, like, oh, shoot, like, hold on. Like, they done took everybody for real, but it was like, I was like, nah, we got to go upstairs and see where everybody head's at, because a lot of stuff was floating around, and I'm like, if we stay together, I think, me and Donovan was more so like, bro, we got to stay together, because, like, we benefit each other, you know? Like, especially that defense, bro. I wouldn't be, like, really where I am for us, like, without the guys in front of me, like the linebackers, the guys up front, and the guys on the outside. I mean, we help each other, so, yeah. It was like a lot of guys in there. It was probably like 20 guys in there. We was in that room just talking. Everybody was spitting their thoughts.
Yeah, so again, the influence, you bringing them together, kind of hashing it all out, and then Costa said, okay, we came out of that meeting, it was like, okay, we're going to give them a chance to see. We're going to stay together and give them a chance to see if they can get it right. Now the NIL is looking right. It's looking much better around.
It would have been an emotional decision. Like, if everybody would have left, we had to sit down and think, like, about your future before you made that decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, you played such a valuable role in the retention of the team, the development of so many guys. Zeke told the story, man, you keep coming up in different stories. He was like, Clink. He was like,
Clink, bro.
He was like, man, he said he did something in practice. And he said, man, Clink was on me. And he was like, man, he said, you know, I'm a laid back dude. But he was like, I was going through it. And he said, I had to walk off by myself. He said, Rod came over. He's like, look, man, just calm down. That's just how he is. You got to know how he, focus on. Don't get too down on yourself. And don't ignore that. Let's get back over here and get this work, right? So, but that was another example of you kind of picking up one of your teammates.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like with Clink, I mean, I dealt with him for 3 years. And then, like, my parents are kind of like how he was. Like, I knew how to kind of deal with hard coaching and hard parenting. So when he was yelling at me, I'd get mad, but I'd be like, all right, don't let this, like, really affect what you're doing. And then when I seen Zeke doing that, I was just like, you gotta chill. Like, he just trying to take you to where he want to get you, and then to teach you can stay there, like, basically. Mm-hmm. So you just got to be able to deal with that yelling, because it was just a whole lot of yelling. That's what made everybody mad. He was just always yelling, like, what you yelling for, dude? And then he'd be in your face, like, trying to be cool. And I'm like, nah, watch out, dog. But nah, Clink, bro, I miss Clink, if you want to be honest. I miss Clink. It's nothing against Coach Morgan, but we all miss Clink. Bro.
Yeah. Hey, different coaching styles, for sure. And so what about Coach Morgan? That was one of the things that Zeke talked about. He said, it's different doesn't mean better. It just means different. Coach Morgan has a different way of going about things, where he explains more than he yells, and that can work too. And he said, that's working for me. And so what are your impressions of Coach Morgan so far as a coach? Obviously, I know you're not on the field, but you can observe. And so what do you see of him and how he's really connecting with the guys?
For one, he's real smart. He connects with everybody, because, like, there's kind of some guys, like, don't respond to yelling well. So when you see, like, somebody that comes in and is chilling, like, it's kind of more like they'll listen a little better, But I think it's been real good with Coach Morgan. He knows the defense, because he knows Coach Minner and all that. So he knows everything. And then he asks input from everybody else too. Like, and then trying to make sure you're learning it the right way, not just one way. Mm-hmm. So it's been real good. Everybody's loving Coach Morgan. So
yeah, man. You said he knows the defense. It's not simple
at all.
That's the other thing that you guys, and this was something that the Washington dudes kind of found out the hard way. Like, they came out, they couldn't deal with y'all up front, but they couldn't deal with y'all on the back end either. because y'all had them confused back there, and that was the other thing that really kind of.
They had me confused. I ain't gonna lie.
Not that often though. I mean, how many
I bust like 2-3 coverages that game.
But how many variations did y'all have? Right, y'all had a lot of. Y'all was doing a lot of stuff, didn't y'all?
We did some stuff that I ain't never seen like before. We had our own spin to a lot of stuff. I'll say that.
See?
Yeah.
So when you have that much stuff, it's gonna be some bust, right? So obviously y'all wasn't perfect, but y'all do a lot of complex things back there, and they were like, man, these dudes, they're so different with how they can throw a lot of different defense at you, and so that led to a lot of questions. Is that gonna change? And it doesn't feel like it is.
Mm-mm. No, it's not going to change at all. Everybody has their own style of the defense. Same defense, different variations of the defense. I don't think it's going to change at all. And we kind of got the same basics, different spin, and then we just got the players to do it that know how to do it.
My man Rod said I busted. So was that what happened on that when the Doomsday was running? When he was running over?
He dropped the ball? Or he overthrew him?
When he overthrew him?
Because you ain't see me and Mikey look at each other and he was in my face. I was like, oh, yeah, I did that.
What happened? Somebody...
I thought it was a field simulator, it was supposed to go to the field and I was supposed to play a different spot in the same coverage, ran to the same spot as somebody else and left the half, and the half was wide open. He was wide open.
Yeah, but
the second time, that wasn't me. He caught it. It looked like it was me, but that wasn't me.
Hey, but he had got his head beat in so much by that point.
Yeah.
He was shook. Mm-hmm. He was shook, missing throws that he hadn't missed all season long. So I'm curious what you think about the void on defense, because Mikey was a savage. Mikey was an all-time great. He's a gifted athlete, but the way he thought the game was on a different level. And you do the same. I mean, you think the game, right? So Mikey graduates. You're obviously out hurt. Who fills that void on the defense now with him gone and with you out? Who do you see stepping in? I'm not talking about the physical part. You got athletes that can do what you guys do, but who can think like you guys think? Who do you see filling that void?
I see Makari. Right now, Makari is Ernest. Will is a young guy. He has to. He's been playing for 3 years. And then Mason and KG, like really the leaders you expect to do that, I think. They're all just coming together and being able to do that and lead the defense. So we got some guys that's coming in too. So I think once the season goes on, they'll be able to speak up a lot more.
Yeah, so again, we're going to get back to talking more about Rod and kind of what your outlook is. But right now, this is the time of the show where we get into that financial literacy piece. It's that part where we help uplift these young men and women, by the way, which is coming soon, in their financial journeys when it comes to this NIL era. We call it the Financial Literacy Bootcamp. So in this financial literacy boot camp, we have engaged a couple of partners. One of those partners is the University of Michigan Credit Union, which for their history, they made a habit of getting young people used to banking, getting used to thinking about their finances and wellness and education, saving and budgeting, even thinking about taxes at an early age. So it's a natural transition to start doing that with student athletes. I was like, hey, you guys, we see a need. Can you help fill it? They said, absolutely. And so they put together what they called their Playbook for Prosperity.
Saver or spender?
Can there be in the middle?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. In the middle.
Tell me more though. Yeah, kind of what?
I mean, I don't like spending money on things that don't have a lot of worth. But sometimes I do that at the same time. So that's why I would say I'm in the middle.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, it's important to have a positive money mindset. I'm telling you, that will serve you well. Just, get good help and stuff like that, but, be positive about things. I'm telling you, you're not sure, get help. Yeah, Rod, what helps you get through the months financially?
I also have a couple different accounts, like my business account, LLC, and then my personal account. And so I have another account that I started when I was coming out of high school that I use for different things like that. And then at the beginning of the month, when I'm getting paid, I pay off all of the stuff like my bills, my rent, before I make any other purchase.
Beautiful. One of the first things that I teach with money management or budgeting is have a good sense of needs versus wants. Take care of those important bills, those needs, get those paid, all that kind of thing, and just let everything fall from there. Good stuff.
So, Rod, I know you and some of your teammates made it over the University of Michigan Credit Union recently, and they took you through the paces of some financial wellness initiatives. So what were some of your takeaways from your time at UMCU?
A couple of my takeaways were pay everything off on time, and just be conscientious of that, and then planning, having a planner of how much money you spend and how much money you earn, as well as being intentional where you put your money. You could be making the same amount as someone else, and you put your money somewhere else, and they could be making more at the end of the day in the long run. So I think just being intentional and being smart with your money.
So were you a guy that made a habit of whether credit cards, bills, you pay everything on time?
Yeah, I pay everything. I try to. I'm gonna say I try to.
Were you already aware of how much it could affect your credit score if you miss a payment?
No, I didn't know that one. That was kind of, because if you had a high credit score and you just accidentally miss a payment by a day, then it's like, dang, you just messed it up.
Yeah. So were you the low credit score guy, the middle guy?
Middle. I was in the middle.
You were in the middle.
Yeah.
Was that based in reality, or was that?
No, it was just it was just handed out.
We just role playing right now. All right, I'm proud of you then, young brother. I'm proud of you.
Appreciate you.
That's great that you are taking seriously paying down those bills, paying them on time, because you missed one payment. As I think it was Colston who said, man, I didn't realize you missed a payment. Your score goes down 30 points, and then it takes you like a year to get it back up.
Mm-hmm.
So pay those credit card bills on time. And the other thing you got to think about is not getting a whole bunch of credit either. All those credit inquiries, all those lines of credit, those are all things that can affect credit score. So taking you through those paces, very important. Now, are you a guy who budgets? You budget your money very much at all?
I'm gonna say I'm in the middle of that.
In the middle of that, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's better than not budgeting at all.
Yeah.
Spend money on stuff that brings you joy. I promise you'll have a wonderful life, but within reason. Yeah.
What's your plan? How do you do it?
I have an Excel spreadsheet. It's a little old school, but it works for me. I have it organized. I built it myself. I just have it organized where I kind of know. I know.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of, why I do it, Rod? It's because I need the transparency. I just like to see it. I just don't want to keep things up here. And then if I'm faced with a decision, I'm able to kind of look at this and kind of see how the month's going and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm happy to share what I use. It's just an easy spreadsheet. I like to see it.
All right, so UMCU didn't have a bad case with Rod Moore. You were already doing a lot of the things you're supposed to do, helping you lay that foundation, which they've been doing with young people for a long time. We hope to do that with more young people and more student athletes, and spreading the word with the Playbook for Prosperity. All right, so Rod, if UMCU lays the foundation, then our friends at Morgan Stanley helps build on that foundation by talking about investment strategies, building wealth, growing your finances. So I'm curious, what have been your takeaways from talking to the folks at Morgan Stanley? Have you started to think about, or have you actually gotten involved and starting to put some money away, starting to invest?
I thought about it. I haven't yet started. I need to. I think I just need to get a little bit more knowledge and education in that area of where to invest and what to look for when investing, like numbers wise. So I just don't want to invest into something and I really don't know what I'm getting out of it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. So we're gonna be very we're gonna be encouraging right now. to my young brother Rod, we're gonna say, hey, you put a little bit of money aside in college, a little bit of this NIL money that you're bringing in. I see your chain. You look like you're doing all right. You know, you're doing all right, getting a little piece of it, a couple percentage points off to the side, and don't touch it for 30 years. You come back in retirement, and that money is much, much bigger. That's kind of been the message that I've gleaned from some of your teammates, and obviously is in some of the tutelage that's been coming across from your time at Morgan Stanley.
Yeah.
Seems to me that you are not a very risky individual.
Yeah.
You're a more risk averse guy.
Yeah.
You kind of
I'm
like
not
middle of the
risky at all.
road.
Yeah, I'm in the middle. I don't like that risk. Especially when it comes to money. I don't want to put my trust into something else where I don't have any control over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, dang, you could have maybe not have did that, or then you could come out on the good side. So it's just like, it depends on what it is also.
Yeah, well, that's where it pays to have the right people advising you, and that's why education is key, and getting with the right people that can help educate you in that area is very important. And that's why we have gotten this financial literacy boot camp together. So Rod, coming back around to talking about how this plays out for you the rest of the way. You got your rehab, and you said you got some decisions to make about how you handle things moving forward. Who are you leaning on, other than obviously yourself and how you're feeling, and your doctors? Who are the people that you ask for advice to help color that decision on how you're gonna move forward? Because you got to be careful to not make an emotional decision. You're gonna feel real good, and you're gonna look around. Let's say the team is doing real well, and emotionally it might be like, yeah, let's go. But how do you make sure that that's the best decision for Rod? How do you keep from making an emotional decision in that moment?
I think that's more like talking with my family, any agencies that I'm in contact with, my coaches, and really just the training staff, and especially the doctor who did my surgery. Like, once I get the green light from him, I mean, yeah, that'll give me some grace, but I still gotta feel like I can do it too. Because it could be a yes from the doctor, but you mentally or physically may not be ready to go.
So why not just make that? I mean, is there something wrong with just saying, you know what, I'm not gonna even put that on the table. I'm not gonna even consider coming back right now. I'm just gonna focus all my energy on getting ready for the draft. Why not do that?
Cause I'm wanna play, especially if it's maybe my last season or not. I still wanna play because it's guys that I really wanna play with again. And then it's just like, I'm not really kind of forcing to play, because if I can't play, I can't play. But at the same time, I do want to. So if the opportunity is able to present itself, I'll try to get back on the field. But
so you just said something that I hadn't even thought about. Frankly, you said maybe it's my last season or not. Would you even contemplate another year? Would that even be on the table for you?
maybe, but
It'd have to be a hell of an NIL deal.
yeah, some gotta keep me here. But
Yeah, it'd
I
have
don't
to
know
be.
about that one.
It had to be NIL on another level.
Yeah.
Now, the compensation is NIL. You know, you can put together NIL deals that can work some things out. Which brings me to that conversation Colson said, look, the meeting you put together where you said, hey, we got to figure out if we going to stay together or not. Y'all ultimately decided to stay together. Put your faith that they going to take care of you. And he said, yeah, man, there was a before the national championship and there's an after the national championship. He said, okay, they taking care of us now. Would you agree with that assessment of things?
Most
I want to hear
definitely.
things from your perspective, because you always keep it real with me. So what would you say?
That's true. That's most definitely true. It was before the Natty and after the Natty for sure. Yeah. I think they realized, like, you got to take care of the, I mean, bro, it's been since 1997 since we brought a Natty here, so you better take care of your guys that did it, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was a before and then it was after. And then after, I'm feeling real good.
I hear that, man. And so, you know, as far as some of these guys that you're helping tutor and mentor now that are coming up. Makari said something the other day down at Big Ten Media Day. He said, man, I'm watching this young Zeke Berry, and I'm watching how smooth he is. And I see a lot of Dax Hill in him. And I'm thinking, whoa, that's saying a lot. Makari, Makari there ain't no cap in him. So for him to say that means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I'm like, whoa. So I know you. I know you don't. You always gonna keep it real. You agree with that assessment?
I do. I think I do agree with that. Cause bro, Zeke just be so smooth. Like, he may not have no DB work, but he still can come out there and look like he's just smooth. He got it naturally. And the way he moves, the reason why I think he said Dax, cause bro, Dax, they move kind of alike. Like as far as hip movement, feet and stuff like that, and aggressive, like just aggression. Once Zeke gets everything down, bro, yeah, he gonna be real good.
All right. So what about young Brandyn Hillman, man? I keep hearing what kind of athlete he is.
Yeah, B-Hill come down here crazy. Like, you think he don't care about his life sometimes. Me and Kari sometimes, we look at each other like, yo, he crazy, B-Hill crazy. But yeah, he be doing flip, like he's an athlete doing flips and all that stuff. So you're gonna see when he comes back. He kind of was out spring with a hammy, so he really didn't get to show what he could do. But we've seen it in practice. Like, we know how B-Hill get.
You see anybody out there remind you of you? Remind you of you. Remind you of young Rod.
Nah. I don't.
Nobody out there doing it like me.
I mean, I'm real humble, but I don't compare nobody else to myself. I'm a real humble person, you know that, but
yeah, I hear you.
Nah.
I hear you, man.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck in your moment against Old State. That's gonna last to the end of time.
Yeah, that's one. I was just watching that yesterday, matter of fact. Like, I watched the whole game on YouTube yesterday. But nah, that's one that was crazy. I still don't even believe I did that. But yeah, it's kind of crazy, especially because, I'm from Ohio. So, like, I was just back there last week, and I seen a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while, and they was just like, they hate us, but they was just a fan of me because of how, like, what I did and where I'm coming from, how I'm coming from down there. So it was just kind of crazy just seeing the love from everybody, and then just knowing, like, damn, that's going to be in, like, history forever.
I'm going to ask you a pointed question. It's a tough one. Because it's asking you to look at it from a vantage point that might not include you. But I heard Colston and Gio, they said, man, I'm looking at this defense as great as it was last year. It could be better this year. Mm-hmm. And that was another time where I was like, come on, man. I was kind of almost like I said to Makari, like, come on, man. I don't know. And they both said it with their chest. And so I'm going to ask you again, you like my barometer on stuff like that. You buy that? Right.
Let me think about this real quick. I think we got to see how it goes before making a statement like that. Because, like, you got to see who we had last year, then who we had behind who we had. Mm-hmm. Like, this year, we got to see that. Like, we got to see how it goes first. I mean, everybody at the position that they're at, they kind of been there already. So that's why I think they're saying that, because we kind of know the defense a lot more than a lot of guys did. So especially like before I got hurt, it was going real good. Like everybody was we were kind of learning new things a little bit, but everybody was on one accord. Then when I dropped, but just watching everybody, they're still just gelling so much together, and that's what our defense is. Everybody has to work off of somebody else. So once you get that connection and that gel, that defense, that's where you will see, like, it's going to be a real strong defense.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. All right. So we'll wind this down with a couple of questions. Number one, you said you miss Clink. You talked to Clink, you talked to Coach Minder, you talked to Coach Harbaugh. When the last time you hollered at the old crew, you stay in touch?
When I was in LA.
Okay.
I seen him, talked to him a couple of times. But,
what kind of advice do they give you? I mean, these are guys who are in the pros right now. What are their suggestions about how you move forward, how you handle things at this point? I'm talking about health-wise. I'm talking about big picture for Rod.
Oh, they was just telling me, like, to make the best decision that's going to be for myself. There's a couple of things that they've told me, but, yeah, I'm going to just make those decisions off of really how I think it should go. Trying to think what else they were saying when I was out there. They were just trying to, just telling me to stay positive, like especially the mental aspect of all this. Because, the coaches, they see ACLs a lot. And it's my first, it's a big one. It's I ain't never missed no football season in my life. That's kind of different, but it was just telling me to keep a good mental.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, I tell you what, your role on the team is undisputed. These dudes respect you. I don't know if you've grasped how much. You must have.
I don't. I don't think I haven't, if you want to be honest. I don't be really seeing it, honestly.
You don't?
Nah.
Oh, man. Yeah. You. I guess you gotta have people tell you how they talk about you when you're not around.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, they rock with Rod, for sure.
It's love.
Yeah, buy what you have to say, follow what you do, tell them where to go, they're going to follow, for sure. So, like they have, you just gave a bunch of examples. You said, come in the room, we got to stay together.
Yeah.
Zeke, come over here, don't listen to Clink, and dudes, do what you say do. There you go, man. So, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I mean, it'd be very easy to mail it in, and you keep coming back, man. So keep doing that. I know we're going to see you, even if wherever it is, in whatever form, I know we're going to see you on the field again, man. So keep doing you. Invest that money, man.
I got you.
Come on, man.
I'm going to do it. I got you.
Invest that money. Rod Moore.
Appreciate it.
Folks, it is always real. With Rod, it is always real on Behind the Uniform. We appreciate your support on this platform. You can always find the episodes of Behind the Uniform on our YouTube channel. Of course, we want to thank our great sponsors, starting with our friends over at Golden Limo, who get you to your location on time, every time. Don't forget, take advantage of those great opportunities. You can find them at goldenlimo.com. If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Golden Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today. And thanks again to our great supporters over at the University of Michigan Credit Union, of course, Morgan Stanley, for helping us enhance the financial literacy of these student athletes. We'll see you again on the next Behind the Uniform.